Hi, welcome to Mountain Jim Card Collectibles. So today we have another big we don't make mistakes, we just make happy little accidents, kind of a Bob Ross take to an extent. I'm an artist. And that's coming from Topps Fanatics of all things. I mean, they didn't say that, but we're constantly getting that sense, aren't we, with the Topps Fanatics happy little accidents. When we look at the 2025 to 2026 Topps Chrome basketball retail mega boxes, with the big Chase exclusive blue X Fractors posted on the front of the box, which felt like big time false advertising. Well, here we are again. And the people who pre ordered this once again stepped into a big pile of manure, to say the least, because they were shown stuff that is not in the product. Now, I suppose Topps Fanatics can just brush this off and go, well, we just keep making mistakes. But let's be honest here; it just really feels like Topps Fanatics are just really bad actors to an extent. Because we know that they have a lot of money, all right? We know that they can hire people that understand the job, that can look over a checklist. I just looked over the Stadium Club checklist, to see what was on there. And if they can't hire people, if they don't want to do the job correctly, maybe they should lose their licensing. Because they're obviously a company that doesn't care about their consumers. With the 2025, 2026 Topps Chrome NBA basketball debacle, to say the least, with the false advertising, maybe they just shouldn't do advertising at all. Maybe they should just post the information, post their checklist, that's done. Because obviously they just can't do the job, So here we are once again. And I've been, reading about this here and there online, about people not happy about, what Topps just did with Topps, Stadium Club baseball. But let's get it from the horse's mouth itself, It's just came out on January 27th, 2026. This is from Justin USC. Like it says here, is this Topps new thing? Oops. What we said was in the box isn't. Yeah, I mean, it's just getting exhausting, And I just feel like they just don't really care what they're doing. I think it's kind of a bait and switch. I think that what happens is they look at the product and realize that, it's likely not going to sell in its current form. But then again, maybe they just are really hiring bad people to work for them that don't care about the job. And like I said, all these copy editors would have to do would be to, double check stuff and go over checklists. You know what I mean? I just did that. So let's read what it says. Dear Topps Collector, we are reaching out regarding your recent pre-order of the 2025 Topps Stadium Club baseball. During the pre-order period, some unfinished packaging designs temporarily displayed on our website contained outdated artwork that included incorrect mention for chrome base cards and chrome parallels. These designs were part of an older file that was intended for the final product. Yeah, come on here. If you're going to sell a product, of course those chrome parallels, are going to, heighten up the product. I don't know about the base cards, but let's see what it says here. To confirm, the final printed packaging does not include Chrome-related content. The final product does not include Chrome base cards or Chrome parallels. All website imagery was corrected and the final accurate packaging is now reflected on the product page. So this part here is kind of confusing. The final printed packaging does not include Chrome-related content. Okay, so let's go and look at the Topps website on this product. Okay, so here we are. And of course, you can also download the checklist, download the odds. But, the thing that I notice about this is, looking at the cards themselves. I mean, I'm not too impressed with this year's Stadium Club base. All right. I've seen it look better in prior years. Their autographs, like their base autographs, for the most part, look like stickers. I'm not sure if that Nick Kurtz on the right is a hard sign. Hopefully it is. I'm just not too impressed with stickers. I think the Beam Team design's pretty cheesy. I see those little squares on there that really remind me of, the Panini parallel product. I forget what they call that, So, reminds me of, Panini products. But this is a confusing thing of what they just said, Autographs remain a cornerstone of Stadium Club, highlighted by base card autographs, base chrome autographs, and an expanded selection of autograph inserts. Okay. And that's as far as I need to go, because my interest is in the base chrome autographs, And we can go ahead and just hit the checklist, because I already looked at this checklist. But, they said that there won't be any Chrome-related information, but, right there, that's Chrome. So I'm just going to scroll down here. And right here, I have found the Chrome base cards autograph variations, And they have all these big chases on here, for rookies, for 2025. Nick Kurtz is on here for a chase for rookies, and a lot of, veteran players. But then here we are again. And right there, to confirm, the final printed packaging does not include Chrome-related content. So maybe they're not putting that information on the final packaging. It gets so confusing, doesn't it? I went into the checklist. Yeah, there's no Chrome base. There's no Chrome parallels. But all they have is, these Chrome base autograph variations, okay? Are they going to be in the product? And the reason why I keep pulling my hair on that question is because it says here, to confirm, the final printed packaging does not include Chrome-related content. But you saw the checklist. I saw the checklist. What in the hell's going on? Anyway, is it just part of this bad acting shtick, from Topps? I mean, they're even thrown in the checklist. Who knows? I'm guessing that those cards are going to be in the product. But let's just say I wouldn't bet on it. I wouldn't put $100 on that statement, to say the least. All right. This is why 1990 Topps is great. Cello Pack wrapper says 31 cards and one stick of gum, 89 cents, and that information is still correct 36 later. Yes, and that's the way sports cards should still be, And maybe I'll be burned at the stake for saying that. Which? But you know what? Sports cards should be affordable, so we don't have to play these games, The sports leagues don't care. Topps Fanatics, Michael Rubin doesn't care, and that's because they've latched on to something that they believe is going to, fund their big billion-dollar lifestyle. I never get anything worth a damn. Frankly, I'm surprised I get actual cards. Yeah, it is going to be such a scheme, isn't it? It's ridiculous. It's so hard to get a box as it is and then say, oopsie, are bad. And that's constantly happening with Topps Fanatics, to where they're just bad actors. So is Chrome only available in hobby, or they do away with it? Glad I didn't pull the trigger the other day and got tied up doing something and then seeing that there is no Chrome. Well, this is the most confusing thing here is, I went over the checklist. They do have these Chrome-based variations on the checklist. Are they not going to be in the product? I mean, I keep getting back to, it's just so confusing, isn't it? Lawsuit incoming again. Pay us the same money, though, yeah. And I'll put out there, this big billion-dollar company, why can't they seem to hire a copy editor? I mean, a copy editor could have looked at the information and gone over the checklist and go, well, there's no Chrome base, there's no Chrome parallels in this product. Let's take that off of this information. I mean, it's that simple. But once again, Topps is really just a greedy shit show, isn't it? They don't really care about what they're doing for the consumers. Oh, let's just shill out some more bad ads. Here you go. Oh, too bad. Take your poison pill, deal with it. I just feel like this is another reason, to abandon Topps Fanatics. I just wish these sports leagues would take a hard look at Topps Fanatics and all their wrongdoings and just pull their licensing. Okay, so here we are, and this is Topps, and look how Topps frames this. This collector found a Larry Bird autograph in the very first box he opened. Jersey number 2, okay. So, let's get into this one, because this is hilarious, Before I get too deep into it, to be honest, it's very possible that, they are putting some Larry Bird, autographs and blasters or whatever, for the fact that Larry Bird tends to sign a lot of autographs for his fans. And in that respect, he's better for fans than, say, Michael Jordan. But it does tank the value to an extent, But that's what I like about Larry Bird is he's not all about the money. I'm just going to say this about Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is all about the money. He hasn't ever really done anything for this, sports community since he left basketball. He just goes and lives his billion-dollar lifestyle, I know people are pissed off about, those interviews they did for NBC because people thought he was going to, come on there and actually, talk like, a sports announcer. But no, Larry Bird has definitely done a lot more for the, I would say card collecting community, sports community. He was a coach. He's definitely given back a lot more to the NBA than Michael Jordan. I do like Michael Jordan, don't get me wrong. But, to me, Michael Jordan just cares about Michael Jordan. Am I wrong to say that? I mean, he's always has these, beautiful babes by his side, always a lot younger than him. He's always, has his billion-dollar, lifestyle, his racing team. I guess I'm just not impressed with Michael Jordan's lifestyle. I like his cards, don't get me wrong. I used to watch him play, from more or less, 83 on, watched him play in the 84 Olympics. I'm a big Michael Jordan fan, but you have to be honest, who's doing more for the collecting community here? I'd say Larry Bird. He is. I mean, and yeah, maybe it's tanking some of his prices, but at least he's there for the collecting community. There's no Michael Jordan and Topps Fanatics to chase, which is good for us because you know how Topps Fanatics would be hyping that up, I mean, these boxes would be $1 million. And let's just cycle down here and let's look at this card. It's numbered 33 out of 50, Nice card, I have to admit, has that kind of gold look to it. All right, so let's see what people are buying it. Oh, wow, what a story. Makes you want to go spend $50 on a blaster. Truly inspiring stuff. Yeah, I'm running to the store right now. I mean, it's such a joke, Wow, something one of your approved breakers didn't hit? What are the odds? Yep. And this is what I mean. I mean, people understand that this has become trickle-down cards, These cards are only meant for the elites. The elites that Topps Fanatics approves, for the breakers, What a shit show. Said collector just so happened to be Larry Bird's grandson. Just kidding, hopefully. Who knows, I mean, we'd have to really dig in. Is this an actual collector? Or is it just like another, someone tied in with Topps Fanatics some way, somehow? Quit now, pal. Yeah. I mean, no one's buying this stuff. I mean, it's just Topps doing what they do, trying to pretend that there's something that they're not, The secondary market is all for Topps fanatics and their breakers. That's not for us anymore. How dare we even, think about getting awesome cards, if we're not tied in to Topps Fanatics as a breaking company, huh? The marketing team should be fired ASAP. That's funny. Laugh out loud, watching y'all try to save face or pretend to care about the average collector who still buys sealed product is comical. Then as soon as a big release happens, y'all turn around and screw over everyone but breakers. You almost feel the shift happening. Yeah, and that's what I mean is, I've been watching Neo. He puts out a lot more TCG on his Neo TCG than his sports channel. Why do you think that is? Because he knows where this is going, This horse race for this year, for 2026, you're going to see the sports card horse begin to tank, begin to lose. And you're going to see that the TCG race horses begin to sprint forward. And the reason why is because TCG is allowing the market to do what it's always done. What you have here is Michael Rubin, who looked at this whole thing and went, well, we have to capture the secondary market. We cannot allow these collectors to turn around and sell awesome cards for big prices. And to me, that's the most ugly thing about sports cards that I have witnessed in my lifetime is what's going on with Topps and Fanatics, and the sports leagues going in with it. I almost feel like it's like I don't even want to watch the sports leagues anymore because of it, to be honest, because I know how greedy and selfish they are as well. I mean, they may as well just all be in bed, tonguing each other, licking each other, whatever. Sports leagues, Michael Rubin, PSA, and just this ugly, greedy, selfish monopoly that they really work so hard to create to push average people like me out of the hobby. And don't pretend it hasn't happened. What I love is how everyone is beginning to see it as well. And it's about time. It's time to take off the blinders and look at reality. What is really going on with this joke of a hobby at this point, I mean, if you're not seriously thinking about just jumping in at TCG 100%, because you have been pushed out of this market, well, I don't know what to say. I mean, TCG is likely going to be the big card chase for 2026. So anyway, how are you feeling about this? Are you ready for the Topps Fanatics shit show to shut down, hopefully, so we can get our hobby back? Are you jumping in TCG 100% this year? When I look at the horse race, I just see sports cards falling way, way, way behind, to be quite honest, because it's like I said, it's been held hostage for the most part, and most consumers aren't allowed to enjoy it. Yeah, you can go get your piece of garbage retail, that they try to pretend's made for collectors. That's really not made for anybody at all, other than Topps Fanatics just ripping people off. I love it. I love to see Topps trying to be something they're not, and this post proves it. Oh, a collector. Yeah, you guys don't care about collectors. Michael Rubin doesn't care about collectors. We all know that. Anyway, I hope you have a great day. I'd like to thank my subscribers. Thank you for watching. I don't get a lot of views, but thank you for watching. I'd like to thank my viewers as well. I don't get a lot of subscribers, still not monetized. But it is what it is. So anyway, hope you have a great day. I'm out of here. Bye.